What is that path towards the complete moment? Like I said before, fulfilling the two responsibilities towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, staying humble in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, showing your gratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also fulfilling the rights of the makhluk. So once you fulfill these two rights, and today we see that either today there is a group of people who are too much into fulfilling the rights of the makhluk. Even the rights of the animal are very important for them. They spend so much money in protecting animals. When I was in Minnesota, I had a roommate, white American roommate, and he had a rabbit, pet. Usually you get rabbits for $5-10, not an expensive, and sometimes you can just adopt it for free. So he had it for a few months, and then he became sick. And he was talking to me, my rabbit is sick. I laughed, and I said, if I were you, I would slaughter it and I'll eat it. It would have make me a good meal. He said, no, what are you talking about? You're gonna eat up this cute rabbit? This is so cute. How can you eat it? How did you even say that? How can you even say that you want to eat my rabbit? I'm like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but usually what happens in our country that you keep the pet for however long it is, and when it becomes sick, you just eat it and get the new one. Because people in our country, they keep chicken. As long as the chicken is good, you keep it, and once you start getting sick, right away you use your knife. It makes a good meal for you. So this is what I suggested, and he said he did not like that idea. He got very angry at me. He took it to the hospital, spent $700, and back and forth in the clinic. Maybe in a week or 10 days time, this rabbit died. And I was laughing at him. Like I said, what did you get after spending $700 on a $5 animal? You had something which for $5, but this is the akhlaq. This is the rights to the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the makhluk of Allah. So he had that level, so he had that care for that animal. So in the Western world, you would see that even the rights of the animals are fulfilled to a level that they are ready to spend any amount of money on a rabbit, on a mouse, on a cat, right? And but their connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so weak. They always argue who created us. What if there is a God, and what if there is no God? And if you cannot see God, maybe there is no God. So their connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so weak, but the connection with the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so great that they can spend you can expect any dollar amount being spent on an animal like this. On the other hand, on the eastern countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, our countries like that, you will see the lot of connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would see people praying tahajjud. You'll see people fasting Mondays and Thursdays. You'll see people spending time in the path of Allah. And I was in Medina, and there was this Jamaat, and they said this Ramadan there was more than 8,000 Jamaat who went just from the city of Peshawar. In 1 month, more than 8,000. He said 8,400 Jamaat. So this is azmatulillah. This is how much the huququllah are getting fulfilled in the eastern countries. But to the makhluk, it is very poor. With the akhlaq are so poor that they cannot, the peace of within the boundaries of the house is not present anymore. Between the husband and the wife, the relationship is so poor. Between the father and the children, there is no relationship. There is no love for the younger ones. There is no respect for the older ones. So what is this? So this is the level of the shafqatu ala khalqillah. But on the other hand, azmatulillah, the respect of Allah and the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the highest level. So neither this is kamil iman nor this is kamil iman. The kamil iman is that you have azmatulillah. Then whenever there is the rights of the time for the fulfilling the rights of Allah, you fulfill that right. And whenever there is the right time to fulfill the rights of the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you fulfill that right. Everybody knows that famous story of Bani Israel. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there was a woman, very bad woman, a woman of very bad character, that she lived in Bani Israel, and she had no good deeds, except for one time she came up to a well to drink some water, and there was a very thirsty dog. And this thirsty dog was there, and she felt bad, she felt pity for the dog, and she took her shoe off and wrapped up with and then tied it with her scarf, and then from the well she could get whatever water she could get in her shoe and give it to the dog and quench the thirst. And after so many years she passed away, and then the Nabi, the Prophet of that time, saw her in the dream and asked her, what happened to you? And she said, I was forgiven. Why? Because that I had an action of mercy with the dog. The dog was thirsty, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me just for getting the water available for the dog and quench the thirst of the dog and make him feel comfortable. And today we wait, we depend on our tahajjud, we depend on our fasting, we depend on our hajj. But sometimes the forgiveness would be granted just by this act of mercy on the dog. Umar radiallahu anhu says that if by the river of Furat, if a dog dies of thirst, Umar would be the one who would be asked for that. This is the animal rights. This is the animal rights in the time of Umar radiallahu anhu.